right, so I have nothing on the calendar today. The only thing I really want to do is get through the book that I'm reading right now. It's Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I'm really loving it so far. So it's about 570 something pages, and I'm currently on page about 300. So I'm going to be reading that today. First thing I'm going to do though is go to Whole Foods to pick up some breakfast. I'm trying to spend less time eating out this year as one of my goals. So I'm just going to go to the grocery store. That way I can have everything that I need, come back, cook, and then spend the day getting into this book. It actually has to go back to the library tomorrow. My goal is to get through it today. So midday tomorrow, I can just go by the library, drop it off, and also walk around in there and see if anything else stands out to me. Time is now 5:07. I'm on page 383, chapter 18. Reading this book, I've read a lot of reviews online before I dove in, and it seemed like a lot of people had issues with the pacing and whether it felt personal to them. And so far, I've definitely can understand why it has those critiques. But for me, I just think that I'm still kind of figuring out what Ralph Ellison was really trying to do with this. There's a lot of room left here for the reader's interpretation as far as like what he means, as far as like what the main character is going through. And I think the main character also doesn't really know how he feels about what he's going through. I think it's just literally speaking about it and allowing us to fill in the gap. So I'm hoping by the end I'll be able to really have a definitive position on how this story kind of resolves itself. But so far it just feels like the main character is experiencing different things, and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go about it this way, I'm going to go about it that way, and he's just experiencing everything. But I know in the beginning of the book, the main character seemed like he was already on the other side of everything. So, and he seemed very detached, very like not really likable in the beginning. It was like this person who started off the story saying how no one knows who he is and he doesn't know who he is. He's just the person. And it's like we're seeing the story of him getting there, but we still have about 200 pages left, give or take. So I'm thinking by then I will know exactly how he lands there, but we will see at the end. Okay, so it's now the next day. I have finished reading Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I'm going to have to watch a few interviews from Ralph Ellison after this just because I don't know really what his objective was. This is one of those books where they just have there's just so much going on and you just kind of are watching the main character go through this, and there's not a lot of reflection. You kind of have to fill in the reflection for him. Obviously, commentary on race relations in the mid 1900s of New York. One thing I've noticed about books that come out in the 1900s, mid 1900s specifically, Go Tell on the Mountain and Tell Me How Long the Train's Been Gone, and other books like that by James Baldwin. I've just kind of see what years those are, because I feel like these books during this time period, they kind of just give you a bunch of narrative and you're just kind of left to figure it out on your own. One of the things the main character did in this story was he kind of took on what everyone around him wanted him to take on. And I think one of the regrets that the main character feels at the end was that he didn't necessarily apply most of his own personal beliefs and his own personal desires as much as he went through his life. So he kind of just accepted what everyone else gave him and kind of defined himself by that. That influences that invisible man aspect, because when you are taking on everything from everyone else, you kind of are invisible. This was a good first read of the year because it wasn't an easy read by any means. It was about 500 or so about 580 pages, and a lot of it was just like really rich detail and description. Overall, I definitely liked it. It's just one of those books that like you have to think a lot about at the end to sort of really figure out how you feel about it. If you want to think about something and you want to have a book that like makes you really wonder what's going on, I would recommend this, because I liked it because I feel like he did this purposefully throughout the story. A lot of things left unresolved, but I think he did that on purpose to sort of allow us to be in the moment with him. So just to wrap things up here, I think that was a really good library trip. As you guys saw, I was able to pick up 3 new books to add to my TBR for the month. One of the things I'm going to be talking about next is my TBR for the month, as well as my goals overall for 2026. So that'll be coming the next one.